Hi, this is Bala. Here we are going to check understanding. We are going to check how to understand and useful of foreign key constraint. Okay, so it's very simple and effective things, and most of the people are not using it. They are considering that just setting up a column and giving on reference into that particular column from other table. The symbol like they are understanding by themselves, not mentioning inside our database. Okay, so here I'll tell you that what is the exact purpose of foreign key constraint and difference of primary keys, unique keys and difference. Okay, so we'll go ahead with that. So here you can see there is a, suppose I'm going to create like a user table. Okay, user table with the 4 columns. That's not a problem. Okay, simple. Then user ID. Usually we are given a user ID as individual. As usual, we will give it like a auto increment for that. Basically, auto increment will applicable only on primary and integer type of column. Okay, and also the name. So we can say that name. So you can say varchar. So 20. So it says something like email varchar. So we can say something around 50. Then here you can say something like user type or status or something. Okay, user type. So integer. Okay. So probably we'll sometimes we'll have like a varchar value, but if we wanted to keep some reference from other table. Okay, sometimes we'll keep some reference like state, country, or something like that. Fine. So here if it's an integer, okay, that is fine. We can keep it like a same, no problem. And here you can see some other things also we have to consider here. I'll tell you. Now I'm going to say that save it. Okay. Here you can see if I'm going to click on the structure, there is no other way. We cannot give any. We don't have any option to set any foreign key constraints here. There will be no option will come. Okay, so it is not coming now. I'll tell you why it is. Okay, so you can go to that operation, or you can go to the database. You can see that there is a type. Okay, this is a storage engine. Okay, it's a type of storage, how it's storing the data into your local system, I mean server system. So it's a MySQL type. Okay, MySQL type mainly using for searching purpose and effectively for that. And foreign key constraint. It's a relational database, means a relation giving a relation between the two tables or multiple tables. Okay, so that's a relational table system. Okay, database system. And here you can see that if I want to change it into, okay, change it into some other option called, there is a different type. Where is that actually? Okay, so we'll see that. I think in this particular version some other options. Type is there, and here, okay, I'm going to click on that that I'm in table. Then I'm going to operation. Then you can see here there will be option called changing storage engine option into InnoDB. Okay, InnoDB is a relational database storage system. Actually, it's a one option. You can go to click on this structure. You can say relation B. Okay, here you can give a relation C. Okay, so in this you can give like a the relation name. Okay, what relation, what is the name of the relation? Okay, so we can give here itself, and then here is a user type. All right, so only one table is there. Okay, fine, so only one table is there. So suppose if I'm going to be create like some other table called user type, something like user user type or user roles, what are things. Okay, types, two, if we say something to do something like for anything. ID, we can give some ID for this or not increment. Fine, primary key, and then type name, something like that. Okay, so if we say something like a varchar, I'm going to give like a 10. or 20. Okay, so at the same time we both table, okay, the relation table must have a option called both table must be in same database table engine type. Okay, so you can give to is the same. Okay, fine. So here what we are going to do that actually we are going to be relate this particular data with that user type. Okay, so that what will happen actually in your user table structure, I can go to relation view. I can give, okay, user with user type underscore fk. So simply you can give the name. Using this particular name, you can drop in future. Okay, you can find out these relations also. Okay, that's a name is a unique name. Similar to that, something like we are writing some bonds between somebody. We are giving the name for that particular bond. Okay, so that's a purpose for this. So here is that column. Which column are you going to connect with this? Okay, and database by default it will come like a database into programming in the sense programming. That's a database table. Okay, here user user type is that column, table, and id is a column which we are going to be connected with. Okay, this is the foreign key constraint, reference. Okay, so here so on delete some sort of things are there. Okay, so cascade in the sense what will happen actually if I'm going to delete a record which is from user type table, that the reference ID will be there in your user table, right? If I'm going to give a cascade, what will happen if I'm going to delete a specific record from user types and that related record in the user table? Okay, user is a child table, so automatically that table record will also get deleted, which is reference to that particular deleted row, actually deleted row ID. Set null means actually sometimes what will happen, some some records. Okay, if I'm going to delete a parent record, child record, the reference will become like a set null. Okay, null. Okay, will become like null. So in that case you must give that particular column as a null value. Okay, acceptable null values things. Okay, we supposed to set that particular column as a null value. You can see that no actions and restrict would be like a both are almost same. So we'll see now. Okay, so restrict. Okay, I'm going to give a restrict and then on update same case that. Okay, suppose I'm going to be change user id, user type in the id column value, and automatically what will happen, it's reference, that particular id's reference wherever it is in other child table will automatically get updated. Okay, that's a cascade. Set null means actually if you change it automatically that particular column will get a null. No action means actually don't do anything. Restrict also almost same for this. I'm going to give like a save. Okay, so here you can see alter table name, add constraint. That's a constraint name, that's a name of it. Okay, so tomorrow if I'm going to drop this particular foreign key constraint, I can use like a alter table name, add instead of all drop we have to use it, and foreign key constraint name we have to mention. So we'll see that foreign key is that this is a column is a foreign key and reference is user types table and id. So on delete restrict, on update restrict. So what's going to happen for this? Listen. Okay. Here, if I'm going to give like insert. Okay. If I'm going to give an insert, I'm going to give like a name, some user, something like user one, and email user at user1.com, something like that. If I'm going to give like one, okay. If I'm going to give like one, what will happen? Just imagine here, because it's already foreign key is already set. Okay, so cannot add or update a child row or foreign key. Okay, foreign key constraints for something like that, because reason is that there is no such id is there in your user type table. Okay, there is no such id or tables in your user type table. Let's see here. So that means you can see there is no record in this. Okay, so without the record you cannot add any single record in this particular table. That's why we are setting this particular column as a foreign key. It's a mandatory to do that. Okay, the people they are thinking that they can specify some data there and they can give like some values here, but sometimes the value get deleted from that parent table, as well as the value which is not available in the parent table can be inserted in this particular child table itself. So we need to restrict that particular conditions. That means we have to have a reference from parent table. That reference id will be here in child table, supposed to be valid. Okay, so what we have to what you have to actually, we have to insert a record in that things. Okay, admin, for example, I'm going to say that admin. Okay, now it will be going to insert. Okay, so it is inserting now. If I'm going to browse it, you can see there is a link will come there. If I'm going to click on that, it will going to be this particular thing. Okay, that is fine. So here, as I said, that if I'm going to delete the record here, this reference already used in some other table. So that I have already mentioned that there is a condition called I have given restrict. Okay, so on delete restrict. So that if I'm going to give a okay, what will happen? I cannot delete or update parent row. The foreign key constraint fails, because if I'm going to delete this record, what will happen for other tables reference? Okay, so that's a problem. So that's why that we won't allow these particular things in this place. Okay, fine. Now, if suppose some cases, okay, some cases user type may be optional. Okay, it can be null. Okay, it can be null or you can give like a value for this. So in that case, I can set this particular column as a null and save it. That means actually user type is an optional thing. So if we can give, we have to give the records which is available, which is already have a record in a user type table. Okay, fine. Now you can go to user type table. Okay, in case I'm going to okay, here we need to complete this actually relation view. If I'm going to say that on delete set null, which means if I'm going to delete a reference parent record reference from the parent table called user type, automatically it will get null. Okay, you can see now it will allow it actually. You can see now if I'm going to delete it, what will happen? It will allow. So what will happen actually? The record never get delete, never will be getting deleted from here. Okay, so it's a user table. Sorry, I have deleted the user table. Sorry, user table. Okay, I have deleted user table instead of a user type. Okay, fine. I'm going to create like a record in this particular things. User one, user at user.com. So I'm going to use like a reference. Okay, fine, no problem. Browse. Okay, so reference already there. Okay, if I'm going to delete the record from this one, when user type, you can see that user type, as I said, the same. It will allow because automatically already it is a 1. Okay, now if I am going to refresh the total level, it will become a null, because already I set that particular column will become null in the relation view itself on delete set null. Okay, cascade in the sense, if I am going to delete the record, automatically this record will also get deleted. For example, if I am going to give a cascade. Okay, now you can see there is a type I'm going to insert. I'm going to give an insert for the type admin. Okay, fine. I'm going to give a record in user table is 1. Okay, for example, 1 already there. Sorry, it's already record. I think it's become like a 2, because already it's talking about this value is already become 2. Okay, no, I can give like a 2 for this. No problem. Fine. If I'm going to delete the record from this particular table, you can see now deleted, and here the record also will get deleted because I have set this particular column as a cascade on delete. So similarly, you can use like the same thing. Okay, the restrict and no action will be like the same, and on update also the same. For example, if I'm going to give a cascade, okay, I'm going to save it. What will happen actually? The same process. Insert a record in this particular thing and admin. So for example, I'm going to give like admin for that. Okay, the record ID is a 3, and I'm going to give it like a user. Here I'm going to give an insert record. I'm going to give like a sample user user at user.com. Then user type would be like something like I'm going to give go. Fine. I'm going to give it like this. So here you can see user type is a 3. Okay, user type is 3. If I'm going to change the parent record reference from this particular table into 5. Okay, so what will happen? I already gave like a on update cascade. What will happen? You can see this 5 become 5. So on the update of parent record, automatically the reference will also get affected in this particular child table. Okay, that's why it's called like something. The similar things, if I'm going to use like a null, what will happen actually? If it is getting changed, anything, the reference is there, automatically it will become like a null. Okay, no action restricted won't allow to do anything from that. Okay, so that's the case for this. Fine. So this is how we are going to be structure and how we are going to be specified in that particular options. You can see this. Okay, there's a relation. We use something like as option. You can see now the relation already given to this. Okay, so main purposes of foreign keys are something like the reference must be there in that other table, or it has to be null. Okay, so in this mainly what we need to consider that this column is something like if the data type. Okay, one is that engine. Okay, engine is a InnoDB. The second one is that the data type must be same and the size also should be same in both the table, otherwise the problem might come. Okay, so it never gets set. Okay, fine. And one more thing is that as I said, we cannot enter any data without the reference in the reference table. The same case that if you try to delete or something like change it, if you are going to change anything, then you have to consider how to handle it, whether we have to restrict or whether we have to do cascade or something like that. And similarly, okay, one more example I can say that if suppose this particular user has report to, okay, this particular user has a report to, you can see self report. Okay, if I'm going to see that go, if I'm going to give like a report. Okay, so you can say that individual. I'm going to say something like null value. If I'm going to set it, I'm going to give a save. Okay, fine. After save, okay, fine. So here the record, it is there, and then I'm going to copy that the record sample to user and then go. Fine. Browse. Okay, so here I'm going to say that I'm going to say that the reporting to user 4. Okay, so there is no relations right now, just we have given the reference. That's it. Okay, if I'm going to give like a 40 also, that's not a problem because it doesn't have any reference. But in this case, that if you are going to say 40 and where we are finding this particular 40 here, okay, it won't work. Okay, that's why we need to set that. Okay, if suppose I'm going to give 40 and then if you are going to set a foreign key constraint. Okay, as I said that what will happen actually, user to user report to FK, some unique name we have to give. Okay, so you get a report to programming programming. And here if I'm going to give like the relations and everything, and then here user would be user tables things and user ID. So report is like the same table. Okay, so what are things the same cases here, and then I'm going to give a save. Okay, so to say something cannot add or update child table because already we had added one reference. I mean we have added one reference data in this particular user table, but it is not already there in your user ID. Okay, so that means actually this 40 is not here. So in this case that if I'm going to set a foreign key, it's never going to be accepted. Okay, so that what we have to do actually, one either one we have to correct this value or you have to give a null value that. Okay, you have to correct with the correct value so that it will work. So you can see now if I'm going to give like a same query, I'm going to give like a same query here, copy, and I'm going to I am going to be execute this. Okay, I'm going to execute this. What will happen? Actually, it is working right now. So now if I'm going to be use like a user table, you can see the reference to be there. The reference is that the sample. Okay, this is a condition. Okay, the same way. Sometimes what will happen actually, on delete this particular record, this particular value has to be, it should not delete, because what will happen actually, this is a user, different user, and then this user, if I'm going to delete this particular user, and this user has a 10 other users as a reporting to person with this id, it will get always get deleted. So what will happen actually, either we can change it into null value. Okay, if I'm going to be delete this particular record, it has to change it to null value. That is a reasonable thing. You can see this in this case that what will happen on delete cascade should not happen. Sorry, this one user type. Okay, this one the report cascade is not possible, or you can give restrictor, you can give a null for this. If I'm going to delete like that particular user, what will happen? This will going to be set in that particular column. Simple. Okay, so this is the case for this. The main purpose of users that foreign key is that this column, okay, it's a relational column. This column must have a reference in corresponding table. This what is a self table actually is a for also be there in the same table, and then this is an other table, so it is going to be considered in that things. Simple. Okay, so that's why how we have to use this particular things, and then it will be like you cannot add any record which is not available in the table. So you can say that it will make error, or you can, if you are going to delete this particular record, it can be restrict, or you can be give it whatever the pay options you can be given. Okay, you can given in you have given in your structure of that relations the condition. Okay, simple. So this is how to use this foreign keys, and then please make sure make it and use of understanding understanding of the MySQL foreign key relation database systems. Okay. It's really helpful for you. Thank you so much.